You've heard me say that we believe in getting the information that the conventional interview process provides. We just don't believe in how it's gathered in a conventional F&I process. It makes more sense to gather the same information during the administration portion of the paperwork process. You said it would be fast. Now be fast. Let me show you how we're going to do that. When the customer comes in, we're immediately going to get started on the paperwork. Because we interviewed the salesperson and we uncovered all of any discrepancies during the process, we can trust that the paperwork that we have is true and accurate. So if we can trust that it's true and accurate, we can also go ahead and pre-print it. So when the customer gets into our office, the paperwork is already pre-printed. So we're able to immediately hand them a pen and get them starting on paperwork. One of the keys to this process is to continuously do your administrative paperwork in the same manner. If you always do your title application first, then always do your title application first, and stack them in the same order each time. This will allow you to stay thorough through your process. It'll also allow you to concentrate on the customer and the VAK portion that we will get to momentarily during your administrative paperwork. You can also get all of the information you need, but without having to do the uncomfortable pre-customer interview. During the title application, you can ask who else is going to be driving the car, and the customer is not going to be suspicious of that because it's an appropriate form. During the odometer statement, you can ask how many miles a year do you normally drive, and gather that same information without the customer being untrustworthy or suspicious of your motives. That way you can move through this process, gathering all of the same information that you would normally gather during the pre-customer interview, but doing it faster and without the customer getting suspicious of your motives. The second thing that's important about this process is what you will hear me refer to as the redirect. Now, the redirect is a simple question. Anytime during the process, you will ask the customer, "So what do you do for fun?" We all know that the customer's favorite subject is themselves, oftentimes. Other times it could be fishing, grandkids, golf, etc. But dead air kills deals. Let me explain to you what I mean. The customer decides to not take advantage of any of your offerings, or worse, they decide that they do want all of your offerings and you have nothing to talk about while you're doing all of your paperwork. At that point in time, it becomes dead air in the space, allowing the customer to think about the decision that they just made. Oftentimes, they will ask questions and you run the chance of them talking themselves out of the products that you just sold them. The redirect question, "So what do you do for fun?" allows you to have a topic to talk about during the dead air space. Let me give you an example. During the administrative paperwork, you ask the customer, "Well, Mr. Customer, what do you do for fun?" And they respond with, "I like to fish." Well, at any point in time during your process, if there's dead space, you can ask them, "Do you fish saltwater or freshwater? Bay or deep sea? Where's your favorite place to fish? Who do you fish with? Do you have a boat? What size?" etc. Giving the customer a topic to think about and talk about while you're completing your paperwork. Another example of gathering the information from the customer during the administrative paperwork is you could ask them what their deductible is when you're having them sign the agreement to provide full coverage insurance. If they're trading in a used vehicle, you can ask them if they bought the vehicle used or new and how many miles were on it when they bought it, and simply do the math to figure out how many miles a year they drive. This process is very easy, and the customers open up and give you all the information that you need in order to do your job later in the process. As a summary, the redirect keeps you from having dead air. Dead air is a term used in both camera work and radio work because, especially in radio, if there's silence, There's no one listening and there's no money being made. At any F&I office across the country, if we walk by and we hear laughter and good times, chances are people are in there buying something, spending money, and having a good time. If it's very quiet and somber as we walk by the finance office, oftentimes we know that that customer is not only going to give us a bad survey, but didn't buy any of our products. Summarizing both needs analysis and redirect, always do your administrative paperwork in the same manner. Always ask the questions that you would normally ask during the pre-customer interview, but during the administrative portion of the process. Always engage the customer with a question like, and we prefer to use, "So what do you do for fun?" Allowing them to take control of the conversation and then use that subject to negate any dead air from then on during your process. Utilizing these two steps will increase not only CSI, but will also increase your closing ratio on all of your products from here forward.